Hello friend, Amit is here. So last video I explained about a few design pattern and I will discussed already we was discussed on related to code standard and where exactly we will write our code. So now I will continue the same thing uh, and we will try to create this mini project. So here you see that we already created a many different packages. So each and every packages are the meaningful, so we are putting the particular code inside that packages. For example, here we see that here we have the client, so all the client related code is here. It's not just like a presentation layer where we want to interact with the database, and that is the first point they try to contact the database. So generally we are right now using a core Java code. That's reason we are using a complete main method. Inside we are try to are doing that all operation through that main method itself. We will see the next project also how we can create some UI or other way to connect the database. So here means related to all the persistence, like we don't have any persistence layer here, presentation layer here. So all the presentation layer related thing means what the first point you want to interact, that related code I already placed inside that client. After that, next is a DO, that is a data access object. What I already explained about the DAO, data access object design pattern. So when we want to utilize this DO thing, what we have to do, we have to write one DO. So here all the interface is available. What the functionality we want to implement, we have to write the complete DO here. For example, we have a address DO, book DO, order DO, data access kind of thing. So it is just a plain interface like a public interface address DO, and it have the 4 method that is related to add, update, delete and get address. And whenever we write this interface, we have to write this implementation. So we will utilize com.visualpath.do, exact same kind of package we will utilize, or we will end with IMPL. So IMPL means implementation. That all naming is a standard. So I am suggesting that you will also try to use this kind of packages. Then it's easy to understand if someone is newly joined or they need a very less KT knowledge transfer to understanding this kind of thing, because this is a standard thing, and whenever we want to look any code, we will go to directly and we will look it. So whenever we want to put all the DO related interface, it will be like that. Here start with the any package bit.do and we will put here, and we have to their implementation log like that com.visualpath.do.impl, and here we have that particular implementation. So implementation means we'll just write any class. For example, I am going to write an implementation of book.io. So what I will do, I just create one class here because this is an interface, so I have to create that implementation. So even that class name what I created, that is also good, but that is not that much standard naming. So better we will create like that. We'll utilize the same address with IMPL. So this is the class, and here what I will do, I just implement particular interface. So yeah, so we will implement address DAO. So when we will implement it, we see that it is a throwing some error kind of thing here. So if we double click, it's automatically will suggest that add unimplemented method here. So when we click it's add unimplemented method, and our method structure is ready. So what I have to do, we have that to do auto generated method stub, we have to write actual code here. So through that it is a very easy to implement. We already have a structure by interface, and we just have to implement and we have to write particular implementation. So what is the implementation? I will show you that one implementation, like Hibernate address do, that all method is address, that 5 method is there, abstract method. That implementation is like we are going to add. So what we will do, we will do property util dot get address format, that we will convert here, and after that we will call save object, hibernate template dot save object. So related to database related all the code we have save see hibernate template, and here we can do all the operation related to save, add, delete, update kind of thing. So just think about that. We have a multiple operation, like we are going to do the operation with address. So address have the 4 operation: add address, delete address, update address, as well as we have that all 4 operation, the book do also, order do also, order item do also, and user do item also. So if you multiply that 5 class with the 4 method, then it will be 20 methods. So but if we are writing a same code duplication thing here in the Hibernate, but we are going to do only 4 operation: update, save, delete, and get the information. So that 4 operation if we write in the same method, and all, even it is a address, even it is a book, even if it is a order or order item or user related information, we are going to do the same kind of operation. So if we can write some method, they can handle the particular one kind of request for all this a different kind of do. For example, if we going to save the data, so we can write one save data, and that method is responsible for add address, book, order item, user do, and all. For example, we are going to update the method, and that the common method is responsible for do the all the operation. So what is the common method? We can see here under the Hibernate template. So what is this save object here? Just look that. So we have a C Hibernate here. I already created 4 method. So save, update, delete, load, and that same save method, this is a responsible to do operation with save address, as well as save book, as well as save order, as well as save order item, as well as save user do, because we know that in Hibernate we have to create a session factory, and after that we have to save it. Session.save method is working, and we have to push that object inside that session cache. So way is same, only we have to change that object. So for changing this 5 kind of object, if we write as again 5 different kind of per method, we have write to 4 different kind of method per classes, then it become a 20. So why not we write a single method that is responsible for do the operation, because this is a common operation. Just think about a save only, then we can understand. Or like the save, what we are doing a session.save, and we are dealing with the object only. So if object will be changed, if we pass as a object here, object is a super class for all the classes. Even we can store address do under the object. For example, I just I'm going to create this object Hibernate address do, and we can store under the object itself. What I try to explain that, for example, inside the main method I would like to create object of Hibernate do. And as well as I would like to create a object of Hibernate book do. So here that instance created HAD that will be stored in Hibernate address DO, and that HBD that is stored in Hibernate book DO. And I would like to call one other method here, public void print has, just 1 second, print hash code. So this method is responsible to print hash code of particular object. So we'll call this method here and we'll pass this particular object here, and this single method can handle both either HD either HBD. For example, I'm just going to call this print hash code. So we have to create just for test instance, just Control Z. Just for test, like JF equal to new just for test. Okay, and here I will call JF dot print hash code, and I pass that HBD, as well as I call same method and I will pass HAD. So the same method, if we want to print hash code, same method can handle different kind of object, because we are using a parent of all the classes, that is a object class. So if I run this one, so we are able to see different object and this method is working fine. So the same logic here I am going to apply. So object may be different kind, either it is a Hibernate address DO kind, either it is a Hibernate book DO kind, either it is a Hibernate address order DO kind, either it is a Hibernate order item DO, or either it is a Hibernate user DO. But all super classes is object. So we will write one global method, one generic method. They can handle all the requests related to save, and they can get take as a response of different kind of object, address, book, order item, as well as user related. So here what we have to do, through that session factory we just have to get the session dot open session transaction, we have to create begin transaction ID, only we have to do session dot save object, and what object is there we just have to pass, and we have to do session tx dot commit. So what the object we will pass, it will be save, and mapping and all related thing, which data table it will be stored, what exact data will store, what is a mapping, what is a relationship particular table, that will be handled by HRM or that mapping document that already we have to map. So we no need to worry about that. Because of that ORM tool only, we are taking a different kind of object and we are writing a one single generic method to handle of different kind of thing. So we no need to worry about different operation, we just need to worry about what the task we are going to do. So here we are going to do only 4 tasks. What is the 4 kind of thing? Here we are going to do save, update, delete and load. That only 4 thing is doing, and that this 4 generic method all are taking a object, either delete, that is we are passing a primary key as a serialize, and when load object means we would like to retrieve, we want to get that object, we will pass that particular primary key and we will get it. So when we want to delete, we will delete through primary key, that is a serializable ID, and when we would like to load that particular object, we will serialize it. So here this four generic method is responsible to do the operation related to address, related to book, related to order item and user item. And because of this ORM Hibernate tool, because of this Hibernate runtime system, only it's possible we will write this kind of generic method. So this is one common thing. See that update, how we will do it. Update, we will create a session factory and we will get session factory, and same thing we just session dot update we do, and after that commit. And how we will delete the object? So we are deleting the particular class, so we will pass that which class object we would like to delete. So we would like to delete address do dot class, so we'll pass here the class. According of that class only Hibernate will be decided where exact table is there and what exact we have to do. After we have serializable as, here we will pass that primary key and we will delete it. So what we will do, through that class and serializable id, first we will load, and after that session dot we will this object we will delete it. So what thing is here, what any operation we are going to do, we are dealing with object. So even we are deleting the particular row something. So here what we are doing, we are first constructing that object. Even we don't have the object, then we are loading that object, session dot load. After that session dot delete the particular object. So thing is that right now we try to deal with the object. That's the reason here ORM tool is a providing complete feature to map with our complete object in the database. So mapping is very easy. We no need to worry about particular cell we want to delete or what thing we have to delete. We will create that object. That one object have a information related to one row, and we will delete it through using a session dot delete method. And the same thing we will do load object. Load object, we have a class and we have a serializable id, and session dot load will be load the object and we will return that particular object. So only four method is responsible to do operation, and they can handle related to all thing. So this is just quickly I just want to so here we will go again the deeply we will when I explain about that how we are implementing this functionality. I just try to explain about package wise. So it is a right now it is a very enough. So here factory is there. So again each and every do, we have address do, we have a book do, we have a order do, we have a order item do, we have a user do. So we are not responsible to create the object of particular do. Whenever we will create object like address do dot new do or address do, and we want to initialize something here, then again it's a very expensive call. So what we will do here for creating that particular object or instantiated that object or initialize that object, we will create do factory. So do factory have all the object. Whenever we require that particular object we will contact do factory and we will get the object, and after that through that object we will do our task. So here just go through the do factory and what exactly I'm doing here. So do factory have all the do and static initialization that I already explained about that. Inside that static block, whatever we will write that will be initialized only one time when class is loaded. So actually we want to create a singleton object of all the things, either user do, either book do, either address do, or order do, or order item do. So here this all kind of thing we want to create a singleton. So this is a very easiest way to create a singleton. Just put your all initialization or instantiation code inside the particular static block and use method to return back. So I have all different method that is returning to particular object. Whenever we need a user do, we will call this class name, because this all are the static. So we will directly call do factory dot get user do. When required book do, we will call user factory dot get book do. When we required address do, we'll call, like this is a static, so we'll call through that class name. Here initialization is happen inside that static block, so all object are the singleton. Only one time that instance is created, and it is available for entire time when the application is running. Whenever we want, we can directly contact that do factory and we will get the particular object. Here what you can do one more thing. You can write one generic method like public static, and you will do object, and here what you will do, like a get instance, and here you will pass a string or kind of some string str. This kind of thing you will just pass. Object O capital. So we'll pass like if str dot equal ignore order do return order do. If book do, then we will return book do. So this way we can write, and nothing will match, then we will return null. So whenever we require, through that only get instance we pass order do, we will get order do, we will get book do. So only one method is responsible to return different kind of object. So this kind of method is called factory method. So this is a factory of object. It have a multiple object ready, and whenever we'll call that object and we indicate that what object we will want, that factory method is responsible to return that object. So you can try with both. Either you will do with one method that is responsible to return one kind of object only, or you can write a generic method that is responsible to return all the object. Even inside that if, you can utilize a switch also, where through that string you can match switch and you can return it. So now I think Java 7 inside the switch we can pass a string directly, so it will work perfectly. So switch also we can utilize, if also we can utilize, or try to make a more generic. If you understand, you have some other logic, you can write it, but main aim is there. Do factory is a factory of object. Here all the object will be instantiated. Here we would like to create a object as a singleton. That's the reason we are writing a code here, the static block. Even you can change this static block code for writing a singleton. You can utilize a static method or thread safe synchronization, anything you can write, you can change it and try it. But the main aim is there. This through this class we can get all the object. Whenever we call the particular object, we will get here. So factory method is just a name of do factory. It is a factory. It have all the object related to all do, and through that we can directly get the object. So whenever we have to required initialization thing, we cannot, no need to initialize. The same thing if you deal with the Spring IOC or kind of thing, that auto wire is there. So we will specify that auto wire strategy, or we will specify the scope of the auto wire. So automatically that object is instantiated and initialized. We no need to worry about all the thing, but where we are not doing that kind of thing, so we have to create this factory method, and through that we implementing this thing. So here what we have here, do impl is there, that is a implementing class of that particular do that I already explained here. So you have to write that particular same class. Either you will use this kind of naming, either you will use the same name address do and with impl, and after that implement that class. So you will get this kind of a structure, and after this structure you have to do thing. So you have to, inside the to do, you have to write this method, this logic, and after that we have a model. Yeah, so we are dealing with different operation. Even we are mapping happening in ORM through a model itself that we call entity. So here we have the all entity. We are doing all the operation related to address, author, book, customer, order, and order item, as well as user. So all the entity classes is here, nothing change here, not much more changes available. So here all the field. After that we have a parameterized constructor, and we have setter and getter. Even in this class we don't have a parameterized constructor, default constructor only is there. So during instantiation we will instantiate it by default constructor, and initialization we will do through that setter method. So all the entity class is there. So what the field we required here, we have all the field, and after that here mapping related document. You have to change this packages also, or even you can put this mapping document outside of the package near to where configuration cfg.xml is there. Even you can change that package, and you will create some new package, and you will put all the XML related part there. So you can improve this functionality, because here we are writing as some Java code under the model, and again HBM related thing is here. So you can move this means hibernate mapping.xml to some separate package. Here transfer object related thing is there, means exactly how many entity you are created, you just create that much transfer object here. So we created address, so address TO is there, author TO is there, book TO is there, customer TO is there, order TO is there. So actually when we want to transfer the object layer wise, so object is not dependent here, loosely coupled thing will be available. So when we will send that particular object one layer to other layer, means when we would like to transfer that object here to our persistence classes. So address TO will be transferred to the persistence classes, and we will take that particular address and we will transfer here address TO kind of thing. So author TO is there, book TO is there, we have that much same transfer object availability here. So next we have the util packages here, all utility kind of thing we can utilize. So we have a C hibernate util already there, and we created one new kind of template. They already show you that we are going to utilize all the 4 functionality like the save, update, delete, and load, because we would like to all the 20 different methods. That one generic method is responsible to do all the functionality here. So this method is responsible to do all the operation. This is a old C hibernate util package util class that is responsible to return session factory object, and this session factory, through that session factory we are means next we are doing the some operation. Here some property util kind of thing is here. There we are initializing this util, and we will I will explain about this thing deeply, what exactly we are doing through that property utility, and this is a hibernate cfg.xml kind of thing. So this package configuration and package structure we can understand right now. We have that much packages, and properly we will put our classes in proper bucket. So whenever we are dealing with presentation related logic, we will put inside that client packages, when we will do the do data access object, we will put in the particular packages, and here we have the implementation because this is the interface. So implementation of particular classes is here, so we will put that particular classes inside that IMPL. I have all the models, so I put all the model inside Hibernate model packages, and I have a Hibernate mapping XML document that I put this inside Hibernate model. Other than we have a transfer object exactly same what the entity is there, we have utilized, like we have a address entity, so we will use address transfer object. So this transfer object we can utilize when we can transfer particular object one layer to other layer. We would create one loosely couple thing in between a two layer. After that we will go to the C Hibernate template and this kind of thing. So just quickly check that what I already explained about that. So here few design pattern that we are utilizing, I already explained previous video. So that design pattern we are using, so I just go through that one more time. I already explained in the first video. Go through that video and you can just quickly refresh your the knowledge. So here we are using a data access object that I already saw inside that code. So what exactly data access object is doing? So data access object pattern or DO pattern is used to separate low level data accessing API or operation from high level business services. So whenever architect is designs a functionality, they will provide us that functionality by interface, and there the interface they will restrict that what functionality, what exact method we have required, and that method body is not there because that is an interface. That body implementation we have to write. So data access object pattern or DO pattern is used to separate low level data access API or operation from high level business services. So data access object is what exactly we are doing. So data access object interface, the interface define the standard operation to be performed on the model object, and data access object concurrent classes we have to write, and we have to implement that data access object interface. This class implementation above interface, this class is responsible to get data from a data source, which can be a database or any kind of thing. Means all the operation what we are going to do here inside that class we will write. So only that two structure is there, one interface is there. Inside that interface we have the functionality, and we have a restrict that only 4 method or 5 method we are going to do this kind of operation, and we have to write concurrent classes, and there we have to implement that particular method, and we have to write the code related to that method. And after that we have the model object that I already explained about that. We went through that address, book and odd model. So this object is a simple POJO classes, and they have the getter setter method to store the data retrieve using a DView classes. So here data access object task is that it is just providing one layer wise application, and providing that forcing that developer they can utilize that structure only, and they can not go behind to that structure. The next is a factory pattern. What is the exact factory pattern is there? Factory pattern I already explained in the first video. Go through that and quickly refresh your knowledge. Here factory pattern is one of most used design pattern. If you check any Java project, or if you go to the any code that is that following the coding standard, you must see that they are using a factory pattern. So we already use many factory pattern, that is a Hibernate util factory pattern, that is a template factory pattern. So those are the factory patterns. So factory pattern is one of the most used design pattern in Java. This type of design pattern comes under the creational pattern, as this pattern provide one of the best way to create a object. In factory pattern we will create object without exposing the creational logic to the client and refer newly created object using a common interface. Exactly what we are doing here, whenever we are writing some factory pattern or kind of thing something, then we are creating a particular object, and client don't know how we are creating object. Just think about that we are creating one video object, and there we have to set multiple thing like a video type, video quality, 4K video, HD video, SD video. So many parameters we have to set. So when we initialize that particular video, and after that we have to initialize with the all parameters. So we don't want to expose that how we are creating that video, and we will just return back that particular video to you. So I will write down one classes. Inside that class I will instantiate the video. After that I initialize that complete video. When complete object fully instantiated object initialized object is ready to access by the client, then they directly call to the class, and through that they can get the video. The same kind of thing here, the factory method that have the ready object, and they can utilize that ready object through the factory pattern. The next is a template pattern, that we are already using a one template here, that is a Hibernate template. So here template means we will provide one template, we will provide one structure, and we will force to the developer, we will force to the junior developer so they can utilize our template itself, and they don't write new kind of thing like that. Many template is available, like a REST template is there, Hibernate template is there. So we are going to utilize that template pattern. We already explained about inside that class. I went through that all line by line, and I already explained that how we are creating a factory pattern and how we are utilizing in our application. So exactly in template pattern and abstract class, that we are exposing, defining a way like a template to execute its method. It is a subclass can override the method implementation as per need basis, but when we are invoke it, it's to be the same way to define by the abstract classes. This pattern come under the behavior pattern category. The next we have the service and service IMPL, that I already explained about that. If architect design some parameter and they design some functionality, and they force to developer that use that functionality itself, then they provide that functionality by the interfaces. So we have the interfaces, and inside that interfaces we have the abstract class. So all that kind of interfaces we will put inside the service package, and after that we have to create that particular service implementation. So we have to create one classes to implementing of particular service interface, and that classes we have to put inside the service IMPL. So here package wise we have the service IMPL, model, TO, that is it for related to transfer object, util, data access object, configuration. So exactly what we are doing that operation point to point. If we start with the client code, and we will reach into the database. So I have the one sample code here. The stage wise I will explain that, and through that it's very easy to understand. So here just look the first line here, address DO is we are instantiated. Even we are not instantiating directly like address DO equal to new DO. So what we are doing, we're just creating address DO, a DO. After that we have a DO factory. So inside the DO factory we have a static method, that a static method called get address DO. So any static method we are calling through the class name. So what is the class name is here? DO factory. So we are calling that particular class DO factory. Through that class name we are calling get address DO. We will quickly look that what exactly the code inside the DO factory. So just check the DO factory. So here this is a factory, and we have a initialization and instantiation related code here, and we have a multiple method. Through that we are returning that object, and even we can write a generic method that I already explained. We can utilize a if condition, we can pass through that some string kind of thing, and through that we can match that, and if matching is done we can return particular object. And because object is a super class of all the classes, so we can return through the object, and if that string is not matched with anyone, then we can return null. So this is a factory of all the object related to user, related to book, related to address, related to order item. So we'll go again this code. So do factory through, actually I am doing the address operation. So address do, we are getting a do factory dot get address do, and after that what we are doing, so address, we are doing a new hibernate address do here. Exactly inside the do factory we are just doing this initialization or instantiation. But what happen if we not use this code? Just think about that. We are always do like that. Now we have address do, ADO is equal to new hibernate address do. Just think about that. Now we are dealing with address. Now we have to do other 4 operation also: user related, address related, order related, and order item related. So again what we will do, again we will call new hibernate address do, new hibernate this do, and we will create a 5 different kind of object. So here again if the some other functionality required, again we will call new hibernate and we will call this object. So until that object is will we not go to the garbage collector, or that we cannot forcefully clean it, that time that much memory is wasted. So best thing is that we will create one factory, and factory is responsible to return back what exact object we have requirement, and we will call that factory method. And here exactly inside the factory method we are doing inside that static block initialization. So when we will do the static block initialization means must be that object is a singleton. So any cost, any time, only one instance will be available in the particular memory. So we no need to worry about that memory management kind of thing. So this problem is solved. So here exact inside the do factory we have this new same code, new address do. Address do equal to new address do, and we just instantiated that particular object. So this task falls under the factory, do factory, and do factory is responsible to instantiate that particular object. The next is their address. Here get do address. What exactly we are doing here? Inside that get address do we have that implementation. Here we are creating address do transfer object, and after that we are calling a add address, and we will pass that object here. So address we have the all information, like here the we are means address is ORM Chennai and Tamil Nadu, or all pin code and everything what the parameter we are passing, it will be stored under the ATU, and after that add address. So what exact code under the add address? Add address have property util dot get address form add address ATO. So we will convert that ATO to particular address kind. So we have a property util. I will explain about what exactly property util is doing, and after that we will do c hibernate util dot save object, and I already explained about that how we are dealing with the save object here. So after that we will return it dot int value or something if it's required int. So add address, if it return the particular positive number, then we can understand it is a save. If it is returned 0 or negative, then we understand it is not save, and operation is not successfully. Even operation is not successfully, then we have the try catch, and we have transaction rollback. There we can add the logger file, logger message, as well as we can throw some exception, as well as we can print a stack trace. So we have a lot of option is there how we can notify that user that address is not saved, or we have to do some more operation, or parameter is not correct, some kind of thing. So here c hibernate util dot save object will responsible to save the operation, save the object. So this is a one process where we are going to do save, and we can save the particular object inside the database. I would like to explain one more time. So we will start with the address do, and we will get we cannot be not directly instantiated that address do. what we will do, we will write the factory method, and factory method is responsible to return particular DO, and factory method have all factory class have all the object related to different kind of DO, like address DO, order DO, item DO, user DO. So 5 or 6 DO is here, data access object. So all the data access object is available inside that factory method, and factory method is responsible to return back particular address DO object. Whatever we will required, we will directly go to the DO factory and we will return back. Why we are writing a DO factory? Because we don't want a code duplication problem, and we would like to achieve singleton. We don't want to waste our memory. We want at the time when JVM is running, only one in particular DO instance will be available. So we will achieve through the static initialization, because we know that what the code we will write inside the static block, it will be initialized, it will be instantiated only once during the complete operation. When the JVM will be load the class, that time only it will be initialized and instantiated. So next thing what we will do, what the object we have, we will create through the address transfer object, and we will pass in add address object. So what add address object is method is doing, add address object will be take that request, that will be a typecast, they will be check that our object is correct format or not. So they will take the help of property util, and they will convert that object into the particular address format. So we have the complete exact address format. So that object, what we will do, we will send that object into the save object inside the C-Hibernate util C-Hibernate template classes. So C-Hibernate template classes have exactly our persistence logic, where we have a session object, where we have session, transaction and save related code, and we will take that object and we will pass to the save object method, and same thing C-Hibernate util dot save object, we will save this. So same thing we will do, whatever we did here, the address DO, same thing we will, same operation we will apply on book DO, we will apply on order DO, we will apply on order item DO, we will apply on order user DO. So only one thing is pending here to explaining about. We will go through that code wise again, line by line, and I will explain the each and everything. So here we just I just explained about all the factory, means all the design pattern that we are going to utilize. Just check my first video, there you can find deep knowledge about all this thing, and data access object pattern, factory pattern, template pattern, transfer object pattern I already explained in this video also. And next thing we have to worry about that package constructor. That package we have to create that particular package, and we will put, means we will arrange our code in the exact where we want to push. And after that, here we have this 5-line code. Through that 5-line code we will achieve our all operation. So we will run this code and we will check that how much table is created and how that mapping is done. So few thing is pending in this mini project. We will see that how we already map that. That is a very main thing to mapping all the object in according of that. Here we have a user, author, book, customer, order, address and order item. Here all the object are related to each other. Whenever user will come, user may be author, may be customer. If user is author, they can write some book, they can add on the book and the particular online shopping store. And after that, when user if user is a customer, then what they can do, they can order. So if some customer do the order, they must have one address. So we have per order have initialized with particular address, and after that what we have order item. So here we have the relationship between a user to author to customer to book, customer to order, order to address and order to order item. That thing we have to see how we are mapping here inside that this mapping document. Other thing is there, how we are doing that operation. So what operation, how that operation is working. So here client 1 what we are doing, client 2 what we are doing, client 3 what we are doing, this thing. Other one main thing we can quickly check that what exactly property util.java is doing, that this step, go through that steps here. Like here what we are doing, whenever address, some address to we pass, we will convert into the particular address thing. So converting this object, we are utilizing a property util dot some functionality. So what exactly we are doing, we have the same kind of object, but we want to transfer one object to, we will want to post store into the some other object. Here what is the benefit is there, just think about that. Right now we are dealing with operation between a presentation layer to persistence layer, means client code is a different and database code is different. And for example in presentation layer, we want to add something, we just want to add user name or user surname, that I don't want to deal with in database. We just want to store username itself, we don't going to store user surname there. So what happened, mismatch, data mismatch is happening here, where we will get one extra field, but here then our table we don't have extra field. So we will convert for persistence class, we will create a separate Pojo classes, and presentation class we will create a separate classes. So how we will convert this presentation class object to persistence class object like a Pojo classes. So during of that type means changing that object, putting the exact bracket, that property util will be help. So how the property util is helping, we will go through that code and we will check that how property util is working. So here property util have all the related format like address to, author to, and we have form author to, customer to. So all the related object we have that we would like to transfer one form to other form. Quickly we will check that address to form address. So I have a get address and we will have to convert form address. So we will get the address, here we will address and we will create a new address, and what the object we are getting here this add, we will store inside the particular object. Like that, address add equal to new address, add dot set aid, and we will get this aoid dot get aoid. So just think about that, we just want to set this 4 item, but this address tu have one extra item. So no need to worry about that, because we are setting this 4 field only. You can add as many as field want here, it will not affect anything. Even if you want add, if we add private string name here, so it will not affect anything. We see that no error, nothing will come. Even we can map this, run this code, so it will not affect. And if we want to use this tu object in a different layer, we can utilize, and this property util is responsible to convert particular object into the particular format. So again we will pass to address to, and we will get the particular address kind of object. So we will get this one. So this address have 4 field only, and we'll see that address to have 5 field, but we are getting that 4 field itself. So whatever you want to do, you will do here. This is a different layer, and address this to is a different layer. So layer wise mismatching we can fix through that transfer object, and whenever we will want to convert particular object to transfer object or transfer object to particular object, we will have to property util, and property util is responsible to convert one format object to another format object. So here we will utilize property util to converting one format object to other format object. After that, whenever we will do the operation, we will utilize this thing, we will convert, we will create the exact particular object that we need to store in the particular database. And we will see that how we are exactly mapping all the document, and here how we are dealing with presentation related logic in the particular main classes. So we have few main classes and we are doing that logic. First we will try to set all the object in the database. We will have to create table by automatically through that Hibernate runtime system, and we will try to create all the functionality like address do, book do, order do, item do, user do, and we will store the object inside that database. After that we will try to create some order, and after that we will see that how many order is there, how many user is activated, and how many atom is there. If some order is already there, then what is exact address of the particular order inside the main method only. We will quickly go through that and we will check that what the output will become the console, and we will match with the database it's coming exact object is not or not. So till now we all completely understand about package structure, means how we will create a packages. Packages is very important because whenever we will going to write, whenever we going to create some product or project, we have to write our code in a specific place. If we not do this kind of thing, just think about that. If some new developer will come, how they can understand that where exactly particular code is there. For example, just check this project. If some new people is come and they want to check where exactly that Hibernate template related thing is there, then we know that this is under the util packages, and we have to go through that util packages, and util packages have Hibernate template package, and template is responsible to do all related to persistence operation. So that thing we already know. Even now we are doing this online shopping center, we can change that. We will create some other project or other product like a video transmission, audio transmission, or banking application. We can utilize same functionality and we will write code functionality under the template. So we know that that functionality is available under that util packages. The model all available in the model packages. Main client is available here. DO interface available under the DO. That particular implementation is available on do.implementation. Do is a interface. Do implementation is a particular class implementation. So package, I just want to explain that package is very important. If we follow packaging means exact the way, the maintenance part is very easy. And here in software industry, development is a 30% only. If we are spending 100 rupees to some particular software, then 30 rupees only for development, 70 rupees only the maintenance. So we will think about the maintenance, and maintenance, how we will make the maintenance very easy. That we have to worry about. So package construction is completed. After that we utilize few design pattern here, that is a factory, data access object, transfer object. This thing I already explained. After that I already explained about that code flow. Few thing is missing here, how that client is doing and how that XML mapping is here. So I will explain this kind of thing in next video, as well as we will convert this XML kind of mapping to the annotation mapping, and we will see that how exactly annotation related code is working. So till now it's fine. I already explained about that most of the code. Few code is pending that I am going to explain in the next video. Just quickly go through that complete project and just try to create this similar kind of project and write the code and just try to run and check that functionality is working fine or not. Till now, thanks for watching video.